So how do you currently verify what comes in? Things just come in.
Things just come in.
But there used to be SON at the ports. What happened?
In October 11th, 2011, there was an announcement by government that the Standards Organization of Nigeria and a few other agencies should leave the Nigerian ports. And so we left.
What were the reasons given?
It was felt that we were delaying the influx of cargo into Nigeria because of the kind of intervention that we're involved in. Because sometimes, for example, if a product, like refrigerators, you cannot test refrigerator on ground. So usually the process is to take those refrigerators out to a warehouse, and then you can take a sample and test, and then. But what we found out was, and it's still happening today, is some importer brings a product XYZ, and the importer's name is ABC. The problem is ABC has an address, Relay Gomu, and you escort the container to the place. The next day you come, you find out that ABC doesn't even exist in that place. So there's a lot of, hanky-panky that importers play in the bringing of cargo into Nigeria. And that also affects the way, our job is accomplished.
So what remediation measures have been put in place since this directive to leave the ports?
As a learning organization, what we did was introduce electronic product registration, because if we cannot find the products from the ports, we decided to meet them at the market. So that's exactly what we've done. However, I have also using some innovative strategies. We pay for some intelligence of what is happening within the ports. So, for example, I could tell through the intelligence system that this product that had been cleared did not meet certain quality specifications. And so we impound the containers on the road. That's what we're doing right now. And a lot of importers are very unhappy about it, indeed. And it's led to a lot of threats and, people have said all kinds of things against us, but I've remained resolute, because I cannot sit by. I have a mandate, and I cannot sit by and watch people, bring in products that are destroying not just Nigerians, but Nigerian industries.
So what specific efforts are you making to support the Nigerian Industrial Revolution plan?
There are interventions and there are measurable improvements. But the Nigerian Industrial Revolution plan has a lot more in it. And like I said, standards. When we say standards, actually we mean standards, quality assurance, metrology, accreditation. There are lots of things that are happening through ensuring that there's an industrial revolution. I would say a second one in Nigeria, because we are not yet back to where we were about 20 years ago. Remember the likes of Dunlop and Michelin, matches. We don't make matches in Nigeria today. And there are a lot of other things that we used to make that we don't make. And it's a shame, for example, that we don't make tires. So these are all coming back. Today, Nigeria has started assembling automobiles again. That is for me. And we have also started the process of certifying those. Because it's not just enough to make a product. We also have to make sure that those products meet international standards of safety, of reliability, and also some potential impact on the environment.
You were once MD of a drugs manufacturing company.
Yeah.
The national drug policy seeks to promote self-reliance in national drug consumption, as well as the contribution of the local industry through exportation. I recall that the first edition of that policy was launched in 1990 and the second edition in 2005. But the expectations have been largely unrealized. What do you think is delaying the full implementation of that policy?
I think it is good to write a good policy, but it's also better for government to provide, working with the private sector, an environment that is suited for a seamless implementation of the policy. And I think that's where we've lost a lot of initiative. I recall, for example, that there was a recent policy on anti-malarials. Nigeria is a malaria endemic place. And almost all the manufacturing companies in Nigeria are making anti-malarials. And then suddenly, some international program comes in and says, oh, we need to donate anti-malarials to you at $1. And of course, Nigerian government embraced it. But they said also that we must only buy these products from those companies that have met WHO guidelines. Unfortunately, there was no Nigerian company at that time that had met WHO guidelines. So what it meant was a thriving business by the local community of pharmaceutical manufacturers was removed by just one policy from abroad. And so those are some of the hiccups. So we must ensure that in policy formulation and implementation that we hold hands between government and the private sector to ensure that goals are properly set and that we can also set a monitoring mechanism for ensuring that those, if you ask me today, where are these monitoring mechanisms, you may not find them. And I think that is the bane of the pharma industry. But recently, as you would have observed, a lot of Nigerian companies are getting WHO certification. But that is when they have already lost a lot of grounds because of the competition from Indian and Chinese companies that are also supplying into Nigeria. So there must be a deliberate government policy to support the local industry in terms of patronage. I know that the Procurement Act allows for a 15% window. I think that can be increased to about 30%. What it means is if a local company quotes 1 naira 30 kobo and the foreigner quotes 1 naira, the government will buy from a local company.
Government should buy?
Should buy, yes. Those are the kind of interventions that I mean. We need to help industry to get to a level that they can then stand on their own and compete. Today, they cannot compete in Nigeria, not to talk of even outside of Nigeria. And only government can assist them to make that transition through patronage.
Dr. Joseph Odumodu, we thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
And we thank you for watching. Please join us again next time when View from the Top returns. From between now and then, let's continue this conversation online at channelstv.com, where you also see previous editions of the program View from the Top. We thank you again and wish you a good day.